Toya Mochizuki from Isekai wa Smartphone to Tomo ni. The story revolves around the main character Toya Mochizuki, who's died. So that's it. Story finished. Well, just kidding actually. Toya dies by the mistake of God himself. After he gets face to face with the anime god, he's reincarnated into another world of fantasy. As the anime name has smartphone in it, he gets to keep his phone too. Toya's adventure begins when he's revived into a fantasy world where he gets superhuman strength and powers as his body is made from the divine realm's material itself. Sounds pretty cool, right? His adventure is full of magical adventure where he defeats enemies like they're literally nothing. Toya has an overpowered state where he's able to control all types of magic and even nullify any magic that comes forth. Our main character is overpowered in every aspect of his life, even marrying 9 of the princesses. This guy is a lucky hotshot for sure. At some point in the anime, Toya becomes the king of the spirits and awakens his god powers as well. The story and power of the main character make this anime worthy of being on our list.
本物の魔王として異世界に召喚されることになるだなんて。
Number 5. Diablo from Isekai Maoto Shokan Shoujo no Dorai Majutsu. Have you ever dreamt of being the main character of your most favorite game? Well, Diablo in this case had, and he actually got transported into his favorite MMORPG game. Becoming the Demon Lord in his most playable game, Diablo has an interesting story. For a bit of background, our main character's name is Takuma and not Diablo. He's summoned into the game by 2 girls to make him a servant of them. However, the word is misspelled, and the results the exact opposite. Rem and Shira are the 2 girls who were summoned. The spell turns upside down and now those 2 are Takuma's servants. Takuma's known as the Demon Lord Diablo in the game, and using his overwhelming powers, he always beats all of the enemies that come in his way. On the other hand, he's always holding back his destructive powers as there's no need to get worked up to kill a bunch of weaklings. Talking about Diablo's strengths, he has a ton of working skills such as the Ebony Abyss, Distorted Crown, Call of Darkness, and the list just goes on. What we can guarantee is the fact that Diablo is the most overpowered character in this series. Number 6. Daiichi Nishimura from Isekai Cheat Magician. Not your fantasy isekai anime, Cheat Magician has a great story and awesome characters. Daiichi Nishimura is the MC of this anime who gets transported into another world suddenly. Upon the transfer, he's given an overwhelming power, making Daiichi the most overpowered character of the series. The huge magical abilities turns him into an overpowered beast, and enemies, he just obliterates them throughout the series. Gasim and Remio find out that he has the magical potential and he ends up getting into a team with them. Talking about Daiichi's powers, he's equipped with some of the most dangerous moves in the fantasy world. Having expertise in all 4 properties, he can summon spirits and control them to his liking. Isekai Cheat Magician is a prime example of how overpowered anime characters can dominate most of the isekai world. Number 3. Rimuru Tempest from Tensai Shitara Slime Datan Ken. I remember waiting for a whole week for this anime to surface. Satoru Mikami, a Rimuru Tempest, is the protagonist of this anime. Satoru dies and gets turned into a slime. To his surprise, he becomes a best friend with Veldora Tempest as he absorbs him at some point. Having all the properties of Veldora, Rimuru becomes the most powerful entity when it comes to the plot. His ability to absorb the enemies and then use their powers for his own benefits is probably one of the best skills he's got there. The transition from Rimuru thinking that he's the weakest to the world's strongest is the best feeling you'll ever get, isn't it? Well, Rimuru is quite happy with his powers too. Rimuru built his own guild to remove all the evil from the fantasy world, and the rest is history. All in all, Rimuru makes one of the best overpowered isekai anime characters out there. Number 2. Shimazu Toyohisa from Drifters. One of my personal favorite isekai anime has to be Drifters. Too bad it won't be returning, but by the makers of Hellsing, this anime has the potential to easily be one of the best isekai series out there. The series revolves around Shimazu Toyohisa, who died in the year 1600. When he's transported to the New World, he's badly injured and is invited to Nobunaga and Nasa's hideout where his wounds get treated. Nasa and Nobunaga are elves struggling to help other elves. As Shimazu is an overpowered character with a man of limitless abilities, he easily makes up his mind to help the elves. What makes this anime interesting from the bunch is the fact that Shimazu had the same power in real life and in the isekai world. The whole series revolves around having a war with humans to protect elves, and the creators have done a great job in doing so. Shimazu Toyohisa makes a totally badass, overpowered isekai anime character.
よっしゃよっしゃよっしゃ
もうマー君ったらお母さんも行くから待ってって言ったのに全然待ってくれないんだもの。お母さんすっごく悲しかったわ。
Number 1. Masato Usuki from Sujoku Geki. Finally, in the number 1 spot we have Sujoku Geki. Masato Usuki is the main protagonist for this series, and he's a beta tester for a new MMORPG game with his mother. After getting a contract by a government official, Masato and Mamako get a chance to test the newly released game. Well, you've guessed it, the same isekai story of every other anime, but with a twist. The game itself is designed to make mothers closer to their child, but when there are MILFs involved, you know what awaits you. Fan service. Moving back to the subject, Masato gets the most powerful item in the game, the King's Sword. Using this sword, he literally slays all the enemies. His reduction armor is also equipped with anti-magic powers that make him pretty much invincible in the anime. Considering all the plus points Masato had, he's definitely one of the most overpowered mom-loving characters, if not isekai characters of all time. Until next time, peace.